Good evening and welcome to my special session here today. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, if you are here in the classroom, please feel free to type to me down here. Now, Stephen, you shouldn't say sir. Sir is a way to address a man. So let me just put this up here. So good evening. This is a polite way to address a man, okay? So you can say good evening teacher, good evening miss, good evening Samantha. Any of those are okay for me. Hi Jennifer, Sally, Yen, nice to see you guys and everyone else here as well. Thank you for joining me. Now my name is Samantha. I live in a small town in New York State in the USA. And I'm not from New York City. I'm from a rural area that is about 3 hours northwest of New York City. Hi, Bowen. Hello, Stella and Vincent, Joe, Pedro. Good to see you guys today. In my free time, I love to travel, and I have visited many different countries, 40 countries and nearly 40 states as well. I love to see new places and try new things. Hi, Beta, nice to see you today. And Abby, welcome. Also, in my free time, I love to read, I love to play with my dog, and I love to exercise. Okay, so I have been training for a 10-kilometer race. So I have been running and working out a lot in my free time. Yeah, so I try to be active whenever possible. Now, what about you guys? What do you like to do in your free time? Or maybe you can tell me what your plans for the weekend are. What are you going to do this weekend? Okay, so Joe likes to play tennis. Hi, Esther and Johnson. Toby, good to see you guys here. So what do you guys have planned for this weekend? Anything in particular? So I am going to a friend's bridal shower this weekend. Visit my friends. Okay, so I will visit my friends this weekend. I'm going to, what else could we say? I'm going to jog and study English this weekend. Okay, great. So I am going to maybe go jogging and study English this weekend. Hi Joyce, good to see you. So I will play games with my daughter. You can say Amy. I will visit my grandparents. Good. I must to work. So I must work, you could say, or I have to work this weekend, okay? I will play on the computer. I will try some exotic foods. Is that what you mean? Some exotic foods or a restaurant maybe? Okay. So I plan to enjoy hot springs. Okay, so I plan to enjoy the hot springs this weekend in the central part of Taiwan. Okay, good, very nice. Well, I hope you all enjoy your weekend. I will be here Friday evening and Sunday evening as usual. So if you're planning to study, I'll be here for you. Now, today our lesson is called How to Say It, and we are talking about surprises. You surprised me. Okay, how to say it. Now, what might we say when we are surprised by something? What could we say if we are surprised by something? Okay, sure, maybe, oh, that's amazing. Okay, that's amazing. Wow, sure. Oh my God. Okay, good, excellent, sure. You might say, oh, Gosh, okay. Gosh, you surprised me. Okay, that's crazy. Good, that's crazy. Good. Now, we're going to do a little bit of brainstorming on the next page, so I'll save some of your ideas for then as well. Now, in this series, you will learn English that you can easily use daily. On the Say It slides, please use the chat box to practice with the teacher. So you really threw me is an expression that means you surprised me, okay? You surprised me. Now, another expression is good evening and welcome to my special session here today. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, if you are here in the classroom, please feel free to type to me down here. Now, Stephen, you shouldn't say sir. Sir is a way to address a man. So let me just put this up here. So good evening. This is a polite way to address a man, okay? So you can say good evening teacher, good evening miss, good evening Samantha. Any of those are okay for me. Hi, Jennifer, Sally, Yen, nice to see you guys and everyone else here as well. Thank you for joining me. Now, my name is Samantha. I live in a small town in New York State in the USA. And I'm not from New York City. I'm from a rural area that is about 3 hours northwest of New York City. Hi, Bowen. Hello, Stella and Vincent, Joe, Petru. Good to see you guys today. In my free time, I love to travel and I have visited many different countries, 40 countries and nearly 40 states as well. I love to see new places and try new things. Hi, Beta. Nice to see you today. And Abby, welcome. Also, in my free time, I love to read, I love to play with my dog, and I love to exercise, okay? So I have been training for a 10-kilometer race. So I have been running and working out a lot in my free time. Yeah, so I try to be active whenever possible. Now, what about you guys? What do you like to do in your free time? Or maybe you can tell me what your plans for the weekend are. What are you going to do this weekend? Okay, so Joe likes to play tennis. Hi, Esther and Johnson. Toby, good to see you guys here. So what do you guys have planned for this weekend? Anything in particular? So I am going to a friend's bridal shower this weekend. Visit my friends. Okay, so I will visit my friends this weekend. I'm going to, what else could we say? I'm going to jog and study English this weekend. Okay, great. So I am going to maybe go jogging and study English this weekend. Hi, Joyce. Good to see you. So I will play games with my daughter. You can say, Amy. I will visit my grandparents. Good. I must to work. So I must work, you could say, or I have to work this weekend, okay? I will play on the computer. I will try some exotic foods. Is that what you mean? Some exotic foods or a restaurant maybe? Okay. So I plan to enjoy hot springs. Okay, so I plan to enjoy the hot springs this weekend in the central part of Taiwan. Okay, good, very nice. Well, I hope you all enjoy your weekend. I will be here Friday evening and Sunday evening as usual. So if you're planning to study, I'll be here for you. Now today our lesson is called How to Say It, and we are talking about surprises. You surprised me. Okay, how to say it. Now, what might we say when we are surprised by something? What could we say if we are surprised by something? Okay, sure, maybe, oh, that's amazing. Okay, that's amazing. Wow, sure. Oh my God. Okay, good, excellent, sure. You might say, oh, gosh, okay. Gosh, you surprised me. Okay, that's crazy. Good, that's crazy, good. Now, we're going to do a little bit of brainstorming on the next page, so I'll save some of your ideas for then as well. Now, in this series, you will learn English that you can easily use daily. On the Say It slides, please use the chat box to practice with the teacher. So, you really threw me is an expression that means you surprised me, okay? You surprised me. Now, another expression is you threw me for a loop. You threw me for a loop. Now, a loop is kind of like a circle, so it's kind of like going up and around here. So, woo, I was surprised by that. You can learn more of the words and phrases you need when you're surprised or confused, okay? So, for example, I might say something like the teacher's question on the test threw me for a loop because I hadn't studied anything about it, okay? So it threw me for a loop, meaning it surprised me, or we could say it caught me off guard, okay? It caught me off guard here, okay? Now, on the next page, it asks you to think of some ways to say things. Show the teacher, show me, what you already know. What are some of the different ways to say you're surprised, you've been snuck up on, or you're completely confused? Now, if somebody sneaks up on you, what does that mean? What are we saying here? To sneak up on someone. What does that mean, to sneak up on someone? Similar, okay. We need a little more information. To sneak up on someone means to come up behind someone when they are not paying attention, okay? So, for example, I saw my friend in the mall, but she did not see me. I decided to sneak up on her to scare her, okay? So I walked up to her and I tapped her on the shoulder and I said, "Hey Julie, how's it going?" And she said, "Oh my gosh," okay? So have you ever done this before? Have you ever snuck up on someone? Have you ever snuck up on someone, or has anyone ever snuck up on you? Okay, so often, yeah, it can be fun sometimes. It can be kind of amusing to sneak up on someone. To some of my best friends. Okay, good. Now, we can use words to talk about the shock that we're in. We can use phrases like, "I was shocked," or sentences, which are my favorite because they are the best practice here. You can say something like, I was shocked when I heard the news. Okay? I was shocked when I heard the news. So what else could we say here to talk about our surprise? Let's brainstorm a little more here. What are some other sentences we could use to talk about our surprise, or to talk about, how we feel about something? What could we say? Okay, sure. We might say something like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, astonished. Okay, so maybe I was astonished when I heard the news. Scare. Okay, can you use it in a sentence, Toby? How about using it in a sentence? So for example, she totally scared me when she snuck up on me. I don't know, at the mall, like I said. Cheer. No, cheer means just happy about something, okay, or cheerful, I think is what you're trying to say. That's like happy or excited, feeling positive about something. So that has a different meaning. What else could we say? Any other ideas? Maybe I was totally caught off guard when my boyfriend broke up with me. Okay? This means I wasn't expecting it at all. So it shocked me. I almost blacked out. Okay, I almost blacked out. Maybe that would be due to surprise, but this means I almost lost consciousness. I'm not sure exactly why you would do that. Now, the same thing with joy, Amy. Joy just means happiness, but I want to talk about surprise here. Flummox. I don't know what that word means, Jimmy. Can you use it in a sentence? I don't think it's a common word. I've never seen it before. You might say something like, I was flabbergasted when my sister told me she was pregnant. Okay, so I was really surprised here. Okay, maybe I could say something like, I always thought she didn't want kids. Okay, so these are some good expressions that we can use. Are there any questions about any of these sentences or any of these expressions? Are there any questions here? No questions? Okay, so far so good? Excellent, good. Now on the next page, let's talk about surprise. It says, practice the conversation segments. Discuss what situations they fit. Gary says, Gary, you nearly gave me a heart attack. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to startle you. Okay, startle means to surprise someone, but it's like in a way that scares them, okay, or makes them kind of nervous, like if we sneak up behind someone, okay? So startle, let me put this up here, startle is to scare someone, okay, to scare someone or surprise them by scaring them, okay, by scaring them here. So tell me, what kind of situation would we say this? What kind of situation would we use this for? think? Who's got an idea? Okay, no, startling isn't really giving someone bad news. It's when we surprise them by saying something like, boo, okay? So, for example, if you are around the corner and you jump out in front of someone, this might startle them. Okay, this might startle them. Yeah, when someone sneaks up on a person, it startles them as well. Okay, so we can say that. Let me put this up here. When someone sneaks up on a person, it startles them. The surprise is undesigned. Okay, so can you give me a specific example, Penny? Do you mean like unplanned? For example, I have not seen somebody for a long time. That wouldn't startle you, though. Startle is really like a quick surprise, okay, a quick surprise that you're not expecting. For example, the house was silent when my dog began to bark loudly, okay? So his bark startled me at first because I wasn't expecting it. Okay, I wasn't expecting it. So this is more like startle, okay? A loud noise or running into someone without knowing they were there. Or the next one, she caught me unawares in the store shopping for a gift. She was probably just as stunned to see you there, okay? So she caught me unawares is just another way of saying she caught me off guard. I was not expected or prepared for that, okay? So she caught me unawares is like saying she caught me off guard. I was not prepared or expecting to see her there, okay? So this is more like if you run into someone that you haven't seen in a long time. So I hadn't seen maybe my ex-boyfriend in years when he caught me unawares at the mall, okay? So this just means I ran into him unexpectedly at the mall. Okay, I ran into him unexpectedly at the mall here. So maybe you were stunned in this case, okay? What would you do if you ran into someone that you hadn't seen in a really, really long time? What would you say or what would you do if you ran into, we'll say, ran into an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend who you hadn't seen in a really long time? What would you do in this case? What would you say? How would you handle the situation? Don't say anything? Okay, so you could say, Amy, I wouldn't say anything. Okay? All right, or maybe I would hug him or hug her. All right, so to greet, maybe I would say hello or long time no see. Pretend to not know. Okay, so I would pretend that I hadn't noticed him. Okay, I would pretend that I hadn't noticed him. Gotcha. All right, so you could say something like, how have you been? Good. How have you been? Sure. So would this be awkward? Would you feel awkward in this kind of situation? Would this be uncomfortable? A cheerful hello? Okay, yeah, maybe say a cheerful hello here. Okay, good. Yeah, I think it'd be a little bit awkward, but hopefully you could work through it. The last one, the police set up an ambush to catch the car thief, okay? Now, it's easier to arrest when you catch them red-handed. This is a good expression, to catch someone red-handed. To catch someone red-handed means to catch someone when they are doing something wrong or when they are committing a crime, when they're doing something illegal, is to catch them red-handed. Now, what does it mean when we say the police set up an ambush? What is an ambush? How could we say this? Any ideas for ambush? Prepare in advance, set up a trick. Okay, so give me a little more information. Set up a trick. Set up a trap is probably a better way of saying this, okay? To set up a trap in this case, a trap. Good. Yeah, so a trap is meant to catch someone or to attack someone, right? So an ambush, this is kind of like an attack that was planned but is a surprise to the enemy, okay, to the enemy or to the criminal or something like that. Yeah, so it's like to attack from a hidden position, okay, to attack from a hidden position. Good. So there are lots of different words that have to do with surprises, but they have different meanings. So it's important that we learn the differences between these expressions. Now, are there any questions here? How to talk about surprises? It might be illegal. Well, an ambush isn't necessarily illegal, but maybe to catch someone red-handed when they are doing something illegal. Okay, when they are doing something illegal. Okay, any questions? Any questions here at all? No questions? Okay, fantastic. So let's keep going here. On the next page, you give it a try. You may think of some other ways to say it. So, Gary, you blank. Oh, I wasn't trying. So what could we say here for the first one? So if he says, I wasn't trying to startle you or to scare you, what could the first person say here? Gary, you what? Give me a shock. No, we wouldn't say give me a shock, but you might say, we wouldn't say you shocked me either in this case. To shock means to surprise someone by doing something that is unexpected or something that is very negative perhaps, okay? So here I probably wouldn't use shock and scare as the same thing, okay? What else could we say here? Okay, Gary, you snuck up on me. We could use the past tense. Or you gave me a heart attack, or you almost gave me a heart attack, we could say. Yeah, okay. So, Gary, you snuck up on me. You almost gave me a heart attack. You startled me. Okay, you startled me. Okay. Oh, I wasn't trying to scare you. Okay. How about the next one? If we said something like, she was probably as stunned to see you there in the second person. What could we fill in for the first person? Made me out of my mind? No, we wouldn't say out of my mind for this case. Okay, so to sneak up on someone doesn't mean to go out of your mind. Okay? All right, so what about number 2? She was probably as stunned to see you there. What could we fill in for the top blank? Okay, so she caught me unawares, okay? She caught me unawares in the store shopping for a gift. Good. What else could we say here? So here, it just means to run into someone that you weren't really expecting to see. So what else could we say? What else could we say? Yeah, she caught me off guard. Good. Or anything else? How about the one that we learned on the previous page? She threw me for a... Didn't expect to meet him. Okay, so you might say something like, I wasn't expecting to see her, okay, when I ran into her at the mall, but we'd have to change the structure quite a bit for that, okay? So she threw me for a, what? She ran into me in the store shopping for a gift. Okay, now you could say she ran into me, but that doesn't necessarily show that she felt surprised in this case. So it's not exactly conveying the same emotion. Okay, yeah, she threw me for a loop. Okay, she threw me for a loop. Good. Now, how about the last one? If we said it's easier to arrest when you catch the person red-handed, what could go in the first line? What could go in the first line? Okay, we could say they set up a trap or they set up an ambush. Good. So the police set up a trap or set up an ambush. Good. Okay, sure. Anything else that you think would fit here? Maybe the police formed an attack plan, or the police formed a plan of attack to catch the car thief. Okay, so they set up a trap, they set up an ambush in order to catch him. All right, now, are there any questions about how to say any of these expressions? Are there any questions at all? Okay, before we go on, I want to ask you guys about my speaking speed. I like to do this in every session so I know that you feel good and comfortable in class. Please don't be shy. If you want me to change something, I can certainly help you with that, okay? So type a 1 if I'm speaking too fast, a 2 if it's too slow, or a 3 if it's okay. Okay, so 1, 2, or 3. I really appreciate your feedback. Please don't be shy. Let me know if you want me to change something. Okay, so Esther, I'll try to enunciate very, very clearly. If you have questions, just type those to me and I will help you with them. Okay? Now, on the next page, let's continue. Okay, so how to say it more surprised. Practice the conversation segments. I was astonished when Bob said he was quitting. It came as a surprise to all of us. Now, astonished, is this a good surprise here or a bad surprise? Good or bad? Good or bad? Is this a good surprise or a bad surprise? Okay, yeah, this is a bad surprise in this case. Okay, a bad surprise. What are some other words we could use here? What are some other words that would have the same connotation? Yeah, shocked would be a good example. So that is usually describing a negative surprise. Or stunned. Let's use the same form of the word. Shocked or stunned. Good. Okay? Now, the next one. How did you feel when Chris proposed to you? When he got down on one knee, it just floored me, okay? So floored, again, means to really surprise someone, okay? Floored is like to throw someone for a loop and really surprise them, okay? Now, is this a good surprise or a bad surprise here? Good or bad? Yeah, this is a good surprise, okay? This one is positive. This is a good surprise. Now, when we say that Chris proposed to her, what do we mean by that? Chris proposed to her. What are we saying? Right, he asked her to marry him, okay? So when have you been floored by a surprise? Okay, so this is almost like so surprised that you almost drop to the floor, okay? So this would be a good surprise. When have you been floored by a surprise before? Can you come up with an example? So if I won the lottery, we could say if I won the lottery, I would be floored. So that would be a conditional, okay? To receive flowers in front of many friends. My husband hide a flower in my bed. Okay, so you could say maybe I was floored when my husband sent me flowers or hid flowers in bed. Okay, I was floored by her generous gift, we could say. Okay, by her generous gift or something like that. I was floored when I got the promotion. Or we could say when I won lots of money, I was floored. Okay, good. Very surprised. Now, the last one, be careful. They have a surprise in store for you. Better not be spiders. I am petrified of spiders. Petrified just means really terrified here, really scared of something. Now, if someone has a surprise in store for you, it means that they are going to do something to surprise you. So what do you think they're going to do here? They have a surprise in store for her. So basically they are going to surprise her with something. Okay, they're going to surprise her with something. Okay, so basically they are going to plan to scare her, it sounds like, okay? So do you ever play pranks on your friends like this? Do you ever scare your friends? Do you ever play pranks on friends or scare your friends? Do you ever do this? How many of you do this from time to time? Penny says yes. Okay. Bowen says yes here. Yeah, this can be fun. This can be harmless fun. As long as your friend doesn't get upset, then it can be a good time. Okay, so on the next page, let's take a look at this conversation and try to fill in the blanks. So play a prank is like to scare someone but for fun, okay, or to do something that makes everybody laugh, okay, Pedro? Okay, so if I say it was a surprise to all of us, okay? Maybe I was blank when Bob said he was quitting. What was the word we used here? Or what are some words that would fit here? I was blank when Bob said he was quitting. What could we say in this case? Right, we could use astonished or shocked. Yeah, astonished, shocked, stunned, okay, when Bob said he was quitting, exactly. Number 2, how did you feel when Chris blank? When he got down on one knee, I was totally floored, okay? So what could Chris have done? What could Chris have done? You can come up with other answers as well. So what could Chris have done? Okay, sure, he proposed to you, or what else could we say here? So when Chris proposed to you, or what else could he have done? Yeah, asked you to marry him, or maybe told you that he had won the lottery, although I guess getting down on one knee pretty much limits to getting married. How about when he popped the question? Popped the question is another way to say he asked her to marry him. Yeah, when Chris gave you the ring, okay, gave you the ring. Sure, good. The last one, be careful they have blank for you. How about it better not be cockroaches? Better not be cockroaches. I am petrified or terrified of cockroaches. So what do we want to say here? So it better not be cockroaches. I am petrified of cockroaches. Be careful they have brought you the diamond, maybe showed you the diamond ring, you could say, Bowen, showed you the diamond ring. So they have what? What could we say here? No, petrified is how she feels about spiders, okay? But they have something for her. So remember, we said they have a surprise, but we added a little more information to this. Remember, they have a surprise blank store for you. What did we say here? They have, well, we wouldn't say prepared a surprise. That sounds a little awkward in English. But we could say they have, yeah, they have a surprise in store for you, okay, in store. Good. All right, are there any questions about any of these expressions? How's everybody doing here? Any questions? Okay. We wouldn't say they have a trick for you, but we could play a trick on someone. Okay, so we play a trick on someone. A cockroach is like an insect that gets into people's houses. Ugh, it's really gross. It's really nasty. Okay? All right, now on the next page, we've got one more conversation to read through. So here it says, surprised and confused. Practice the conversation segments. I was a bit taken aback when you said you wanted to move away. What I meant was, I'd like to see some new places. Okay, so a bit taken aback, again, means like I was a bit shocked, but a little bit confused as well. Okay, confused. We could say maybe it caught me off guard. Okay, it caught me off guard here. Or sometimes he completely baffles me. I don't know what's coming next with him. He is very unpredictable. So if we say someone baffles you, what are we saying about them? He baffles me. He baffles me. What are we saying here? Yeah, baffles is like completely confuses me, okay? So baffles is like completely confuses me. I don't understand at all, okay? Not stop me, but it completely confuses me. Or he was dumbfounded when Denver lost the Super Bowl to Seattle. It rattled him for weeks. Okay, now dumbfounded means he couldn't believe this. He couldn't believe this. He was shocked. Okay, he was shocked by this. He couldn't believe it here. All right, now are there any questions about any of these words before we try to use them in the conversation? Okay, so let's try to fill in the blanks here. For the first one, I was blank when you said you wanted to move away. So I might say something like, what I meant was that I'd like to see some new places. Okay, so what could go here in the first line? I was blank when you said you wanted to move away. Any ideas? Okay, sure, we could say a bit shocked. That would work. What else? Nearly blacked out. No, we don't usually say black out with surprise here, okay? So not with surprise. I wouldn't use that. Yeah, we could say a bit taken aback, like we saw in the reading. So I was a bit taken aback. Okay, so I was a bit shocked, a bit taken aback. I was confused, perhaps. Okay, all of those are okay. Next, sometimes he blanked me. I don't know what's coming next with him. Yeah, he's very unpredictable. So if we say he's unpredictable, we don't know what's coming next with him, what else could we use to describe this? So sometimes he blanked me. Yeah, he completely confuses me. Okay, good. Or he totally baffles me. That's great too. So he completely confuses me. He totally baffles me. Number 3, he was blank when Denver lost the Super Bowl to Seattle. Okay, so it rattled him for weeks. What could we say here? He was blank when Denver lost the Super Bowl to Seattle. What are some expressions we can use here? So he was shocked. Okay, good. He was dumbfounded. Right, dumbfounded. Or he was maybe in disbelief. He couldn't believe it. He was in disbelief here. Okay. Petrified. No, petrified means really afraid of something. Okay. So petrified wouldn't work here. So petrified means afraid of something. All right. But really he just couldn't believe it. Okay. He couldn't believe it. Okay, now, lastly, we've got just a couple other expressions to talk about. To take one's breath away is so surprised you find it difficult to breathe. For example, the view from Taipei 101 took my breath away. It was so beautiful. Okay, so beautiful. Or bowled over is to feel as if you were knocked over in a surprise. For example, I don't know, when she told me that my dog had been run over by a car, I nearly bowled over. Okay, so I nearly fell over. I was so shocked. We could use this for a good surprise as well. So I bowled over when my sister told me she was pregnant. That would be more of a good surprise here. Or to spring one or spring it on is to surprise someone with something, often an unexpected responsibility. For example, when my parents took a vacation, they sprung their pets on me, meaning they dropped their pets off at my house, but they didn't tell me they were going to do this, okay? So they just dropped them off and said, okay, bye, thank you. And I was like, really? You're going to leave your pets with me? Okay. So it was a surprise that I wasn't expecting. Okay? Does anyone want to make an example here? You can make an example sentence with one of these expressions. Make an example. And that way I can help you make sure that you're using this correctly. For example, if my boyfriend said something like, I have to leave for Japan tonight, we have an unexpected meeting tomorrow. I might say something like, don't spring that on me now. You were supposed to meet my parents. Okay? So don't tell me that now. Don't spring that on me now. That was unexpected, unplanned. So any other examples at all? The news about me and then the ocean took my breath away. Okay, so took my breath away is usually a good thing. Okay, so this is usually a good expression. So I probably wouldn't say it took my breath away. but you could say something like, the news that flight MH370 ended in the Indian Ocean, bowled me over. Okay, bowled me over. Yeah, so you were completely knocked back by it. You weren't expecting it. Yeah, that's really sad. Okay. Now, my colleague sprung a lot of work and just went away. Okay, so my colleague, maybe you could say my colleague sprung lots of work on me and then just left me. Okay, something like that. Good, AJ. Now, if you guys are still typing examples, keep typing. If not, let me know if you have any questions. When I win the lottery, it almost took my breath away. Okay, so when I won the lottery, it nearly took my breath away. Okay, it nearly took my breath away. All right, good example here. Now, the last two pages list the vocabulary. You guys have done a terrific job with class and making examples and participating, so I really appreciate that. Like I said, if you have any questions whatsoever, I'll be happy to answer those now, so type those to me. If not, I hope that you'll come back and join me. I've got one other session this evening at 23:30, so I'll be back at 23:30 tonight, and then I am here at 6:30, 8:30, and 9:30 tomorrow morning, okay? So come back soon. Please don't forget to leave your feedback. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys. Good night. Thank you.